too. Hey everybody, good now, and welcome to Rise Up After the Episode. I just came up with that name on the fly. I hope it's cool. We are here again, me and Alex in Toronto, live with our buddy Nill at Big Nill Collect. We should call it what?
Pillow Talk.
Pillow Talk. Yeah, because we got these pillows. What's the chance, Nill, that we could get some branded pillows from Polygon?
Not even a question.
Brand everything.
Next shipment.
Dude, we are going to have
everything on chain, everything on brand.
Dude, hey, what could we do about recycled merch? I was part of a hackathon where someone had this idea. I've heard it in the space. I've seen people do it, and we were talking about it again yesterday. I feel like there's a real opportunity for giveaways for our community, for other communities, and I would gladly receive a bunch of the stuff you can't give away, you don't want to store at your warehouse, that we could just, as part of an episode. Today, we're giving away a t-shirt from Polygon.
Mega Polygon giveaway.
And I think our friends at Stellar have a lot of merch left over. I know I saw the block space people, the Layer Zero people always have killer stuff. You were talking about going there last night. Did they have merch?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. So definitely a lot of mostly stickers, hats, socks, but a lot of good stuff that I think that a lot of people would go crazy over because they can't get here. So there's always, I mean, we all know how swag works at events. We take home 15 shirts and you're like, damn, okay, here's my top 3.
Yeah. See you later.
Okay, we were just talking about this last night.
Yeah.
No, you.
That's what I said. We're talking about doing.
No. The upcycle merch
store.
post.
That's how you were heading a text message, but that's how I introduced this. Is I want to do an upcycle merch store for the Rise Up community.
Did you just say this whole thing?
I did just say this, but
son of a bitch.
I said it quick.
Said early. Yeah.
I said it quick, and for people who missed it, and maybe I'll slow down to say it.
People is me. I'm people.
It's hard for us to do. Merch in quantities as low as 1 is how we have to do it. You guys, you got to buy stuff in bulk. And one of the pain points is you go to a conference, you try to give stuff away or you try to sell it, but then you come back from a conference and you're like, we have all this stuff. It's cluttering up somebody's office or somebody's got to take it home. And wouldn't it be great if instead we could save it from a landfill or we could save it from, giving another dev a 30th t-shirt and give it to somebody who is really excited to maybe just have heard the interview with Marc, is going to stake their paw for the first time and, I gotcha.
Let my people in.
Let my people in. And then we could just ship it out to them. You guys have some really quality stuff.
We need to, and we're overdue for a rotation of seasons. So I'd say that there's a warehouse, but there's definitely a storage unit in Denver that needs a little bit more tidying up that we could definitely do that with. So I think it totally makes sense.
Okay, for people just joining the stream because they see Alex is here, they see Nill is here, we're doing an after the show because we usually stream until about 9:30 before we put our dogs and ponies into the sunset. We're calling it Pillow Talk after the show, and we've got our pillows, and we've got Nill, and we would love to know if you saw the interview with Marc. Now that we can pay a little more attention to the chat, what are your thoughts? What are your questions? What do you want to hear about for round 2? And I'd love to start with you, Nill, because you're an inside man. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah,
good talk.
I mean, fantastic.
Bullish?
You guys, yeah, of course, bullish. We made this alignment with this team for a reason, and it comes back to value. It comes back to asking deeper questions, and it comes back to just not giving people I think especially in this industry, you have an opportunity, right? I say this metaphor a lot. Right now, crypto is like professional golf. You can get right next to the rope. You can talk to the players. You can yell funny things when they drive off the tee box. You know what I mean? And they know that it's you, right? They're gonna look over, they're gonna see sound, they're gonna be like, okay, look, this MFer said this. Maybe I should pay attention to them. Maybe they're a fan. Maybe I should give them some love. Maybe it's a kid. Who knows?
Sure.
But eventually, crypto's gonna turn into the NHL, where you're banging on the glass, right? And you can make some noise and some ruckus, and the team's gonna get up for you. But it's not gonna be as direct. You can't say something to the player, and then it's gonna be like the NFL, and then it's gonna be like FIFA. You know what I mean? Where you're way too far away. It's not as accessible. But to have these good discussions and to give it to the people directly and to come to these conferences and have all those connections, it's just exactly why we do things. So I always highly encourage our people, if you're trying to get more education, if you're trying to get more just involvement in this space and get away from having these conversations in bubbles, to just get out to an event and have these discussions exactly. So that's why we do it. Marc's here for a total of 20 hours. Yeah. We made sure to be on the Rise Up Morning Show for the homies.
We were so honored by that.
Yep.
So honored by that. He's going to give a keynote for all these people at the world's largest crypto conference, and also is going to stop by the Airbnb to talk to all of us.
Yep.
That's seriously cool. It's like the front page of the internet, and we're going to take you behind the scenes. We used to say that on our podcast. We'd say, welcome to the wild and wonderful world of cryptocurrency. Come behind the scenes with us, building the future. It feels exclusive, but you're invited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it gives everyone having this is why Web3 is different, right? Everyone getting a seat at the table means that people get shared in this experience. Therefore, they feel more connected to it. Therefore, they feel more involved in whatever's being built, and therefore they're going to stay here longer. Hopefully, when they gain this value, and if it comes back monetarily, awesome. If it comes back in just more use case and openness to how this tech works, even better, in my opinion. So both layers on it. But again, the team does. You all do an excellent job in it. Just from seeing how like Alex operates at an event. It's like, I mean, it's like, holy shit. Like the dude, like look in a circle, do a 360 rotation, point out 5 people and introduce them to you. Like that's how people operate when they've been here to do a few events and they start learning people and knowing their why. It just really works, man. So
I am obsessed with knowing people, and my favorite thing to do is add more people to my network, and these conferences it's the best place to do it. And my favorite thing is when you walk onto the floor and you just see like all of your friends and you know someone in like every pocket, and then you start to know people at all of the booths, and then it's just it's the coolest thing ever. I mean, that's why I work in media, because I just want to talk to people who are doing cool shit and then tell other people about the cool shit that they're doing.
And that's like why I started creating in the first place, is just like the ability to tell a story. Is just like, we are writing the documentary, like the documentary for this entire industry. Like somebody's got to archive, somebody's got to get to a place where we like look back and we have all this knowledge and like, understand why it started and how people started it, right? And continued the goals of what the space is meant to do. So that's exactly it. And that's like why like nobody will get it. From the outside looking in, you think, oh, all these nerds are getting out of their basements and they're hanging out in the city for the day and they're making it smell real bad. You know what I mean? Like that's in a sense what we do here. But at the same time, it's like you can really set yourself aside. Like the people, everyone moves differently in this space, right? Like I don't move in a technical sense. I'm not a developer. I'm not out here reading Rust and coding. But I know that my purpose is to ensure that all those work streams, all those connections, they just make that much more sense and are that much more efficient. And that's what our roles are, right? Like make sure the ecosystem works better, because we like to do these conversations, we like to make the connections, and we want to make sure that Web3 wins by the visibility that we provide it. So that's our overall goal, and it was accomplished today. It'll keep going. Obviously, like I said, Marc is in for the keynote, and then he is running back because his kid's got a hockey tournament. You know what I mean? So priorities as a dad of a CEO of like a massive blockchain.
Where does he stay in the world?
Arizona. Yeah,
Arizona.
So, yeah, he's in Scottsdale, I'm pretty sure.
Is he from the U.S.? Is he from Canada? Is he? I couldn't quite place his accent. I had a tab open and I was like, where is Marc Boiron,
his
CEO
accent
of Polygon from?
His accent was CEO.
yeah, exactly. Was CEO of the blockchain. That's what he does, man.
Yep.
No, but the way he just like a quick comment on how our leadership operates.
Yeah.
Like he and Sandeep and David Silverman and Brennan Farmer and all these individuals who have like social presence, like
who are those people, for people who have never heard the names before?
Absolutely. So David Silverman is our VP of Strategic Initiatives, and he handles products, so strategic products and things that we're developing. David is like, man, the way that he presents information and like dives into why ZK matters and why like L2s are like the sufficient like area and like how data moves. He's just extremely smart on that side. All of our team members, right, from product engineering, they have like a very unique focus, and they've made themselves visibly present for a purpose, because they want our people to understand the why behind what they do here, but also they want to like lead. Like there's this idea of like leading from the front, right? Like this idea that like, hey, like I am in this with you all. Right, like I want to be accessible. I want to hear your takes on things. I want to make sure that you understand my why and my day to day, not just blockchain stuff, but like when I'm out with my kids. Like I'm like a lot of people see of like people see Sandeep, right? And Sandeep, he
did a thing, right?
He did a thing, literally like his story is just so amazing. Like born in India in a very small town. I mean, he was like. It's typical Indian upbringing, right? And then like grew to where he is today just based off of the will of like learning how to sell and then learning technology and learning how to grow. And now he, like a lot of founders, a lot of people at his level have like said, hey, I did that thing. It's done now. You know what I mean? Like he steps, like a lot of founders step away from what they've accomplished, and he's doubled down, right?
Yeah.
With how he interacts with people. A lot of people in different communities like give him friction.
But what's interesting about that is that if you take one type of high profile founder, it's and this is not at all to say that it's bad. Like I think of Charles Hoskinson before I think of pretty much anybody else as very high profile, very front-facing, but also has become such an influential enigma that if something happens with Charles, it so heavily impacts the network. The same could be said about Vitalik. The same can be said about, I mean, anyone who is super public.
Yeah.
I mean, and that it's funny because it kind of runs into the idea of decentralization when a single central figure, even though they are not directly controlling everything, basically does it by proxy. Because, I mean, imagine what would happen to Ethereum community sentiment if Vitalik came out tomorrow and was like, fuck this.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, I'm going to go work at Google.
That's what I'm saying. And like, so we had an offsite like 3 weeks ago, right? I came on live from offsite. You heard me and all this bull.
They went to the beach.
Yeah, don't just pole playa de pole, playa de pole, baby. So we had an offsite, right? And we were all doing our thing, and we were working hard and getting after it. And I had like a very candid one-on-one conversation with Sandeep, just like, you know, coming off an event, we were all doing all these excursions, you know, zip lining and ATV rides and like all this fun stuff. Yeah. And I ran into Sandeep in the hall. We were walking back to our rooms before dinner, and I just like had to tell him, I was like, you don't understand like what you've done for all these people. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's 250 people in our organization that just like believe in this origin message that you started, that Web3 can be this way, that can be fueled by good intentions and like, and the whole goal of opening up opportunities for people and extending out like why this technology exists, and it can get away from the monopolized world that we live in, right? And I had to say, like, you don't understand, like, man, like I've been doing this for 5 years, 3.5 of those years were for free. Like, I did it because all I knew was there was some individual that made this thing, and I am as passionate about this thing that he birthed that I get to now carry the torch of. And he's like, and I just gotta say thanks, because like, you've done it. And he's like, no, man, I need to thank you. And I'm like, but you don't understand, like, there are OGs in our company that have been here for 4 years that just believe in it and still do, and have been here before, have won, right? Like, we've done POS, we've done ZK, we've done all this stuff. And now it's the transition of new energy bringing in and what we bring to the table, and just reigniting that fire and just pointing it towards our effective products, right? Things that are going to be beneficial, DeFi aspects, Agglayer, all those things. So it's
like you said, you know, you have to admit when the ball was dropped and then make an effort to pick it up instead of pretending that it's not on the floor. And it's interesting because pretty much everybody has dropped the ball, but also pretty much everybody is like looking at it in the corner and like trying really hard to kick it under the couch.
Yeah.
And instead of just being like, fuck, my bad.
And that was his whole point. He was, and he, when I was saying, you gotta understand how long I did that for free, I was like, dude, I did it because like, I really loved it. It made sense. I come from a business background. He's like, I know we pivoted this many times. It was frustrating to see the community get frustrated because of those pivots. And I never felt offensive on those things because like, I come from a business background. My family did a startup life. Like, I saw businesses like fail and succeed. So I get it. Necessary.
I'm so good at failing business.
It's literally on the best of failing business. It's like, but like,
I do it for a living.
It's sick, yeah. Like, I'll try 1,000 things, but you come back to it, and then you stay like focused on what it can achieve. And I was like, dude, like, I never like wavered in my belief because I knew that the goals were still pure, right? Like, the Web3Y was intact at Polygon, still is, and now the focus just really tunes into where we are accelerating. Why is stablecoin velocity happening on Polygon? It's because it's super efficient and it's legacy products, and the payment processors are being built there. Why is RWA adoption becoming so aggressive? Because again, we're proven. Shit's worked before. We're not going to be some like flash in the pan night journey of, oh, this blockchain that used to be here. It's still existing. So RWAs are natively like jumping into our ecosystem because it works. So lean into those narratives more heavily and then have more success.
Really quick, I want to read a comment to you from our friend Creative Access, who said, just real quick, from where I stand, the interview was a 10 plus, not surprising, but it elicited great pride from all of you. And now, Nill, the key to it all. So everybody really, really wants to give you flowers, and I have to give you a flower or two or three and say, Nill showed up, had bagels. He was here like, early and helped adjust the light. We all are like tight on this couch here, and once Marc got here, Nill helped adjust the camera, adjust the light, adjust the tripod, adjust the window. This brother poured me a fresh coffee and also was like working the whole time, reacting the whole time. I mean, he was really the hero of the day, for honestly not just the day, but a lot of this is possible because of you. So thank you
Appreciate
for what you do. And I gotta know, man, like, what are you excited about at this conference, like beyond the responsibilities you have for work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, who do you want to meet? How can we make your time? I know you want to make, elevate Polygon, and this was a win for you, but like, I don't know, is there anything weird that
Well,
people
especially just because Consensus is like,
Dude,
we're
it's
not
the
sponsored
place.
by Consensus, but I would be, and they get a free plug. Like, this is the one I come to every single year because this is fucking Crypto Comic Con.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one. Everyone is here.
It just feels like, and so like I put out a video yesterday, super brief, super quick.
Yeah, you made a video. I was like, Jesus,
Dude, I was
man.
I was like half alive.
Doing everything.
Yeah, like Red Bull Foley just shotguns. You know what I mean? Like in order to get those words out, and took 7 tries, and I usually am a one take homie. So like the narratives are very interesting, and they're continuing from Dubai. I didn't go to Token 2049, but a lot of the homies did that work at
That
Polygon.
is the other one that gets. That's another
Right.
Crypto Comic Con. The problem is that we don't get Token 2049
Right.
in the States
And
or
typically
in
we
North
don't get
America.
Consensus. Well, consensus floats, right?
Consensus has been in Austin for the last 3 years,
Right.
and then moved it to Toronto this year.
And then Hong Kong was also a thing, so doing double.
They do
efforts
have more
now.
than one, yeah.
So it floats around, right? And so I would say like Token's a big one, obviously, and Dubai being the location for the financial hub of like what that area looks like, it's insane. But a lot of narratives I'm seeing is a continuation from those, and I'm hoping they're staying narratives, right? This idea that like, the flash in the pan stuff was fun for a while, but like, are we gonna keep liquidity just moving around and playing hot potato?
Hype is fucking exhausting.
It's and like for the OGs that have like are actual the movers and shakers, the institutional funds, the market makers, the individuals that really move money around here, they are exhausted.
I mean,
more than anybody.
From your perspective, everyone's perspective, as like someone who, if what brought you here was investment opportunity, which is, I think, totally respectable. I mean, there is so much opportunity in a spot like this to get crazy return and make good money by believing in something. It's so counterproductive to building an investment portfolio to only chase hype, because it can drop at a moment's notice. You basically have to just become a day trader, when I personally hate that idea. All I want to do is like find some things and build a portfolio and sit there and let it cook for years and years and years and never worry about it. And there's like 3 things I can do that with. And I don't have the confidence in most things that are still chasing like a hypey kind of narrative and cycle, and like that I have to just be comfortable with being almost worthless every couple of years for another couple of years.
I just think that VC groups are done taking like 9.5 losses for one or for a half of a win.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, and that's what this industry is. That's what the .com boom was. That's what tech, it is part of it, right? And that will still be like a ratio that is like still being worked on, obviously. But I think that a lot of these teams are going to fall back into like trust. And we started this, I guess I started this term a few weeks ago. And we joked around it like dino chains and like people that actually move the market. I think that the focus around product is the direction that we need to go in, right? I think the focus around like develop, like what the tooling looks like, how we have that benefit for long-term success of the space. I think a lot of people are focusing on that, and they're finding that to be way more beneficial to believe in a team that's done it before and is having success now. So that's the narrative I'm seeing. It's in that DeFi sector. It's in a lot of deep in projects out this week. A lot of RWA groups. A lot of interesting things that I'm looking to just have discussions with, because I want to understand their why overall, why they're putting that much more focus into IRL events and why they have a presence.
Another Alex said Warren Buffett nailed it with his exit speech on the Cathedral versus Casino, and I wanted to tell you so you could invite this Alex to Alex DAO in case they're not there.
Yeah, if you're not an Alex DAO, let me know. If you're an Alex and you're not an Alex DAO, let me know, because we are the biggest first name DAO in Web3.
Hey-o.
Yeah, Josh DAO doesn't have shit on Alex DAO.
Are you part of any stupid DAOs?
Stupid.
I mean, trivial DAOs.
This is war.
I'm a member of Tall DAO,
Yeah.
so it's fitting that we're on the 34th floor. I was trying to get people together at like the CN Tower. I love Tall DAO. I love Alex DAO. It's not stupid, but you know.
Tall DAO is a small percentage in Web3. Like it's mostly short puds in the same.
Yeah, but we make ourselves.
Yeah, but you know what?
feel-
I only
Short
know
DAO is forever in our
fucking tall
shadow.
people. Like every time I meet them, like, God damn it, you're also taller than me.
My stupidest DAO is Soup DAO. Because soup is a very underrepresented food category, and I think it's disrespected, and it's very diverse. And I think it deserves more visibility. And I think that soup accessories, super undervalued. You always have the wrong size soup for your soup. Size spoon. You always have the wrong size spoon for your soup. It's a true thing. So we need soup accessibility.
And you need swag, soup spoons, soup DAO.
That's Soup DAO is a clean ass name. Pizza DAO, like we're coming for you. It's like the entire thing I'm trying to say. We're gonna have like ramen gatherings. Like it's a good goal for us. Like, just bring soup to the light.
I went to, I don't remember where this was. It was either NFT NYC or LA circa 21 or 22. We went to the Cool Man's Universe party and they were serving ramen and it was like one of the best, like ultra cheap, but like it was basically just like get the cup, pull the lid, and then some guy poured you the hot water and we were all just like crushing ramen. But it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was hammered. And we were all like we're like on the street trading. I spent way too much on the NFT just to get into that dumbass party. But you remember that?
Yeah.
That we were there with Michael.
Yeah.
And Mac.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Rip.
Yeah. R.I.P. For sure.
Dude, parties in the old day. Are you looking up a restaurant? Oh, you got no Wi-Fi? Oh, man. Sorry. Yeah, Alex here says, first of all, shout out Alex. I'm sorry. If you're the one who got Alex into Alex, I didn't know. Yes. My apologies. I better issue a quick follow request. Pizza DAO is the GOAT. I am currently working on the Bitcoin World Pizza Day that they do. Yeah. If you don't know Pizza DAO, you got to check them out. Just Google it. They do a big time decentralized pizza party every year for World Bitcoin Pizza Day. To celebrate that time, a guy traded 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. And there's one in Memphis. I'm sure there will be one in a city near you. And if there's not, you can contact Pizza DAO and they will subsidize. They'll pay for the pizza. And they'll give you like $650 to get started, but they have a whole pitch deck that you can use if you want to take it like big time and recruit additional sponsors in your local area. And the whole thing is, just have a pizza party for your neighborhood, and you don't have to like shove crypto down people's throats, but it's a great way to kind of tell the story.
Yeah. In fact, don't pizza. Like deliberately don't do that.
No,
but people are going to ask,
vibes.
Like, Pizza DAO, what's that?
Did you see this really pissed me off. There's a post on Twitter yesterday because Steak and Shake is like accepting Bitcoin as payments, but it's not a thing that was like, it doesn't sound like was like well discussed with like franchise owners. And so a lot of them are not super stoked about it because they either don't get it or don't care or don't want to have to deal with it or get it. And there was a guy who just like kicked off this post where he completely doxed with the personal phone number of a Steak and Shake franchise owner and invited people to call this dude and tell him about why like Bitcoin for payments was a good thing, even though he had also made it clear that like it was kind of like the guy wasn't super stoked about it. And luckily every comment was just like, did you just fucking dox this guy and basically invite people to harass him about crypto payments? It's like how to ruin our public image even more 101. Like harass people into joining your cult who don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this a lot. It's like, yo,
God, it pissed me off.
Best way to decentralize is self-police. It's like the best avenue of our space. It's like we get to like not like
rule number 1, just don't be a dick.
Yeah, self-police effectively, and like traditionally we just haven't done that very well.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like our number one like pain point, I would say.
Yeah.
But it opens the door for more people to be involved, so therefore we can get better at it. But I don't know.
Super dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb, but.
Wouldn't you be paying taxes on it too, just for food? Somebody said.
Yes, and it's a terrible idea. Like, just to be clear, I love the opportunity to decry just accepting Bitcoin as payment for something for a gimmick. Like, it's stupid. Tesla did it. You know how many cars they sold for Bitcoin?
How many?
Do you know?
Like what? Less than 100?
0.
No, 0? Really?
Yeah. That's why they turned it off so fucking quick. It's like, would you like the opportunity? Can I interest you in trading your appreciating asset for a depreciating one? Does that sound good to you? Oh, guess what? You also get to pay a lot of fucking taxes for it. Yeah. And also, it's totally a gimmick. Give me your Bitcoin.
Yeah, totally, right?
No.
I tell everyone, when I play music, I have a, tips thing, and it says, Venmo, PayPal, Bitcoin. I let everyone everywhere know they can pay me in Bitcoin anytime, and nobody has really taken me up on it. But I suspect the people who could or would be like, No, man, it's cool.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm
nice try.
I'm not good on that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been pitched paying in Bitcoin. Like I just hired a locksmith not that long ago for the day job, and that was completely unprompted. We had never discussed it. I wasn't wearing a shirt like with anything crypto on it or anything like that. And he was like, I was like, well, how do you prefer to be paid? And he was like, Bitcoin. And I was like, nice try, buddy.
Yeah, better luck never.
Yeah.
That's actually mine. Yeah, exactly. You can't have it.
Allergic to selling it.
I am allergic to selling it. Yeah, it's mine.
Seriously. Possible too.
Okay, so what's on the docket for the rest of the day for you guys? We were talking about going to Solana's. It's not Breakpoint. It's something else.
Snapshot.
Snapshot. Yeah, I don't. Breakpoint Snapshot. Hey, ding for me because I did not say CEO of Polkadot like I did yesterday.
Hell
Like,
Yeah, I was ready with the swift backhand just in case.
we are powered by Polygon people, not Polkadot, and that was easy. It was great.
Although you really didn't help by bringing us pink shirts.
Yeah.
Dude, the
He's gonna
pictures are so
struggle
clutch.
with that one.
Yeah, I may have just been in. That's a visible, an auditory, or what do we call it? Like
No, I'm gonna go to a Polkadot event if I can find one in my Polygon pink shirt and just like slip it in there.
Yeah, casual. I was
what's
wearing
up,
it all
guys?
yesterday, and they're like, "You are not hard to find." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, big forehead, red hair, big
Ding.
shirt.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, before you tell me what you're doing the rest of the day, I gotta know: are you on TikTok and what like with the my fiance Kimberly, redhead? She has
my
been
God.
loving the ginger adoption by the black community on
Great.
TikTok, and it has really helped her feel. She's talked a long time about what it's like to be the bully in every movie and picked on for your freckles and kick a ginger day, and like how she hates that term and feels so seen, and also is like, wow, kind of interesting alignment. Did not have it on my bingo card that like the redheads would be adopted as like honorary members of the black community.
Drafted.
But like that is really an incredible, like I love TikTok for how it brings people together. What's that like, my brother?
I've wanted to make a video on it, but I didn't know how to approach it to be appropriate and effective and not like overstep my my new invite into the new community. But like so I don't know how to say this in like in the best way possible. Like I came up in an upbringing where I was like around other people that just like did not look like me.
Yeah.
Like just like I was like the white Catholic kid, right?
Okay.
In a sea of like black and Jewish people. That's just like the origination for where I'm in Cleveland. It's a very like big diverse population in Shaker Heights, right? So there's like this there's this city from it's a book, Little Fires Everywhere. Like Drew Barrymore was in a freaking Netflix movie about it, right? It's like this integration of different cultures and how they clash.
Drew Barrymore is an actress.
Actually, I'm Reddit too. The fact that that's one I know. My wife's probably like clapping at home right now. She like got a divine intervention that I knew one actress's name. But it's a very like diverse area that is like melded together, and so like I came up in that direction. So like my exposure was like cookouts and bar mitzvahs.
Yeah.
Like that's my culture, and so like to be like just very honest, I already felt very connected to the community just natively on my upbringing in that way. But like now it's like kind of a difference of like it's funny, you meet another ginger in the wild and you feel like very connected to them natively. Yeah, it's like you and me, man, like we've been through some stuff together, and to be accepted by another community that understands that like we've been isolated in a little bit of a way. It's very cool. And the best part about I saw a video that was my favorite thing. It was like, guys, it's been 48 hours and none of y'all fucked this up yet. You know what I mean? Like no ginger came out like doing something weird or like being too like racial. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. We are accepted and now further embraced. So
we are keeping you. I saw another video that said we're not sending you back.
No, yeah.
Somebody said, Solano said in the comments, it reminds me of the Chappelle Show racial draft skit. Have you seen that one?
Yes, of course I have.
I absolutely love it. And Kimberly said, she grew up in Memphis in a neighborhood where it was mostly people who did not look like her, and she had in movies and on television shows, just this experience of being a little otherized, and it's very, very different.
I've never thought about it that way, but now that I'm like running through movie after movie after movie in my head, the little dickish bully kid is always a redhead.
Yeah. Because he's got trauma, yo.
Yeah.
Because he's been bullied his whole life.
Yeah,
he has to give it back to somebody.
I mean, obviously,
Terrible.
it just speaks to my, being removed, obviously, from, someone dealing with anything like that. But, like, obviously, I always say all the time, like, I can't relate to any of this shit because, like, what am I? Like, if you were to drop, like, the privilege card, I'm a white veteran in the United States.
Yeah.
Untouchable.
Pretty much. You and me both, man. I'm just tall, both my ears, both my eyes, white guy.
Yeah.
People tend to think I'm nice and handsome, and that's about it. I speak with a clear voice, and
Yep.
privilege is where I live.
Yep.
Yeah.
King of the world.
Never thought about it.
Rare with you. It's just like I do believe like that our industry is so unique because it is so diverse. Like, and I think that like I was drawn into something like this because of my exposure in that way. And everyone's like, I know like diversity is like a big topic right now, right? It's very politicized. It's very like charged. It's very bullshit. Like, right? Like that the way that it's being weaponized in a way.
Yeah, totally.
Well, every time the pendulum swings, it inevitably goes too far.
Yeah, and my thing is like everyone's like talking about this whole like, whoa, why is this important? It's like diversity isn't important because it's like diversity for the sake of diversity. Diversity is important because everyone has a background that they have a different experience with, and I want more of experiences from different people that think differently than me.
Yeah.
Like I can't be around people that all are going to say the same thing like as me, or I'm just not going to know much. So we need other people with different backgrounds because it brings that experiencing like of their upbringing, everything for a different perspective.
Well,
and it gets us closer to some sort of truth.
That's on echo chamber. It can be cathartic to sit in it.
Yeah.
But what are you ultimately doing? Just like repeatedly shooting yourself in the foot over and over and
It's
over
like what
again.
makes a great soup, you know? Soup DAO. Here's the plug for you.
There it is.
And three white guys talking about diversity on a podcast. Welcome
Hey.
to Pillar Talk. After the episode, I started this segment by asking what you were doing at the rest of the conference. And since we are talking about bringing all people together in this Web3 movement, building the future of the internet, we're all more alike than we are different, and we're all gathered here at Consensus. Even if all you're doing is tuning in from home, you're part of the movement. I want to know what you guys are excited about today. We're going to it's Breakpoint. I keep saying
Not
Breakpoint.
It's called Snapshot, you wiener.
We got a show tonight that we're doing, but Nill, what are you excited about? It's day one of the official conference. You going to the main event?
Yeah, I'll be popping in for the main event. Obviously, Marc's speaking, so it's gonna be a good time.
Are you guys doing a booth?
No booth. So like a lot of roving events, right? So we kind of went in that direction. ETHCC will be blowing it out at the conference. So like we kind of go hot and cold with every other, and we did ETH Denver really big.
Yep.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we did like the Polygon High with like all these like lockers and like signing, and it was really cool.
Booth of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a sick time.
It was
right?
very cheesy and very cool.
Yeah, it was perfect. And you
Yep.
met Ben the other day. Like he had it, that he was the designer for all that. Our events.
Yeah, I got intimidated by Ben's beard in person, not just
and
in
muscles.
pictures.
He's like a good looking guy.
That son of a bitch, dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude and takes care of business. But he, so just like the way that we present ourselves at every conference changes a little bit. But the moral is like, I am very interested in, again, my vertical for focus is DPIN for this quarter, like a lot of the campaigns that I'm running. And so teams that are, like have very unique innovations. I've met with Rainmakers this week. Spacecoin is here.
We got to put a pin in that. I want to talk to you about DPIN specifically.
Yeah.
And like, spoiler alert, because I got to be honest with you, dude. Like, I get it because I've read about it, but like,
It's my least
I
involved.
hate DPIN.
It's my least
still think it's
involved.
Fugazi.
It's my least involved vertical. Okay, but it needed a person to head it up, and I was looking for my area, and I've leaned in extremely heavily. And absolutely, there is Fugazi, but I think the tech is advancing, and it's not getting any growth because it's siloed currently.
I mean, that's the thing for me. It's like,
Well, it all operates on one blockchain.
it makes sense. Like as an idea, something physical, you know, improving hardware to mesh with this tech makes sense. But the people that are talking about DPIN and selling me things in the DPIN space are literally sleazier than the meme coin people. It's like, it's so,
Well, because a lot of them come from Web 2.
it's so fucking sketchy.
Well, they come from Web 2, and so they know how to do sales in a certain way.
Hey, this is DPIN. Buy my note. It's $1,200. Go fuck yourself.
And that's what I'm saying. Like they don't have they come in, and so when I'm talking to DPIN projects right now, they're like, oh, what's Polygon working on? They're like, what, the Agglayer. Almost everyone and their mother's heard about the Agglayer at this point, right? Because we yap about it all the time. But DPIN forward projects are like never heard of it, right? Why? It's because they're not very they're not neck deep in the space like we are, but they understand the benefits of what things can do, right?
Yeah.
So isolating those teams in a unique way and finding where integrations look the best and making sure that they find a new area for growth, because right now everything is siloed on Solana. All the DPIN projects, either the tokens are on Solana, their transactions flow through Solana for data points. It's just very isolated in that way. And Solana is a fantastic ecosystem, don't get me wrong, but they can only do so much, right? And they only have so many resources. And when like Helium and Grass and all these groups are coming onto Solana, they can give them like private videos and like all this visibility. But then everyone just naturally launched on Solana because everyone else was there. What does that mean? Lack of resources.
Yeah.
Very siloed interactions. The user basis doesn't float from chain to chain, so there's no growth expansion, and that's why I think our premise of saying like, hey, if we put some attention to this, it could kind of kick things up a level if we're vetting correctly. That's the big portion of this as well too. But I think some of the teams that are here doing it the right way. IoTex is a very interesting team that's hosting an event on Thursday. IoTex is like a deep aggregator. They do accelerating programs. They build people, and they're building a CDK, a chain on Polygon that'll interoperate. And so they're one of the teams that we're championing.
Yeah.
I
need a lot of convincing on DeepIn stuff.
I know, and so did I. I mean, it's been I've probably put in 100 hours into DeepIn the last 2 months, just research based. And like, it was one of those things where I was like, man, like, it's cool, but it just doesn't look, that transparent as I want it. And again, I would say, like, there's a lot of creators that focus on it in some ways, and so I'm like honing in those KOLs, and so it's getting more legitimate in my mind slowly.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's like you said, it's the used car shit.
Are you connected to DeepIn Hub?
Yes.
Did you connect us with them?
I don't think I did.
No.
No.
Okay, good. Because we had them on the show, and they had some interesting things to say about it. Our friend Jeebs, Gerard, he is really hip. He
on
does
the VC
venture
side.
and he's really into the narrative. He thinks a lot of it is emergent, but he's convinced that it will be at maturity like the thing that dominates for a lot of consumers, brings a lot of people in. And I don't know. I can see it. I think it's kind of like the Agglayer. We need that base level. And then we need people to build actually helpful models for what it could
People
look
need
like.
to build devices that people actually give a shit about. Like, I don't want to add some other piece of erroneous tech to my house that I have to worry about. But if like you can weaponize my phone to do something, or my handheld video game, like, those are the things that I'm more interested in. Solana Play, Sweet Play, honestly, Seeker and Saga, like
Seeker and
shit
Saga.
like that that's the stuff that's cool. And what was funny is that when we had the DeepIn conversation, one of the topics that came up was idle tech and being able to do, and like a phone was kind of neat, like Aether's cloud. Guess what? They're not doing that anymore. And I'm like, this is such a fucking miss. And sorry, I'm annoyed about it, but it just like, how do you pitch the idea of idle tech, have that be such a good idea, and be like, you know what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to sell you some garbage, some absolute hot trash that really doesn't do anything except for farm you my Ponzi
with a
scheme.
brand on it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a specially branded router. I'm going to charge you 10 times more than you would pay for a way better Nighthawk. But this one is cool because it airdrops you my pyramid scheme.
I don't know how to sell this thing!
And it's just like, dude, I feel like you told me like one thing that would be really cool, and then you were like, but what I'm actually going to do is take a shit on your living room rug instead.
And rub it in.
And charge you for it.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
that's why I hate DeepIn.
It's fair, and I would say, like, it's just also hard from like a VC perspective because of this. The tech that is being fostered in DeepIn is aggressively evolving. Like, it's much more AI and data driven right now. It's much more language models. It's much more like again, like aggregation of data in order to ensure that there is a decentralized nature of it. Like Rainmakers, I think, is very interesting, the way that they're utilizing like the prompts that humans input into AI to create more effective data sets and share those with people and utilize that data for things.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, there is interesting stuff out there that I think will be okay, let's focus on this, let's lean in heavier, and it'll get us away from that. But the VC side is still like, all right, what's the product? And the product is hardware that's very understanding for a VC firm. So it's still gaining money. So it's like, that's what we're talking about. It's like, what is the worth of like what people are putting their dollars into?
Yeah.
It's still going to be a little bit of a fugazi for a little bit.
Yeah, it just needs some honing on like who is the target audience. We talk about all the time that like one of the reasons that memes are popular is because it's one of the few verticals in crypto that has actually achieved adoption with its target audience, which is like really hard to overstate because it's only happened with gaming, DeFi, and memes.
It's crazy, right?
And Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean, and even, I don't know, stablecoins. Even
Stablecoins are getting there.
I think they're way more there than gaming.
Well, no, but this is not to say that gaming is crushing it by any stretch or like doing really well, but it is to say that gaming is something that people understand. The people who are interested in it, who are going to give the products a try, are gamers, and they are going to judge it based on its actual potential to be good at what it's supposed to be. So like, it's not going to be this thing where someone sits there and plays a dog shit game just because it's in Web3 gaming necessarily. They're going to be very vocal about the fact like, this game sucks, make me a better one. And the same thing with DeFi. Your yield sucks, I'm going somewhere else. Like that kind of a thing. Yeah. Whereas if you take something like DeepIn, if you take something like right now, RWA, if you take something like, pick any other niche that I didn't just mention, who's talking about it? A bunch of people who are not actually using it, who do not actually care about it, and are just trying to make money off of it by convincing someone else who doesn't care about it that it's going to go up in value, which is exactly how a pyramid scheme works. It's the sunken cost fallacy. It's the greater fool theory. It's all these things all wrapped up into one big sleazy shitty bundle flavored with snake oil and handed off from person to person to person. And that's why all this shit is missing so much, because there's like not a like I talk about it all the time because it's so funny that it was so topical. But Mert tweeted not that long ago that like, hey, are you struggling with product market fit? Try building a product that the market wants. And it's funny because it sounds stupid, but also when you sit back and think about it, you're like, wow, yeah, no one has actually really taken the time to do like crowd-based info sourcing and try to figure out like what someone's actually interested in. And that's why, I mean, that's the deep end thing. It's like, oh, you don't care about nodes or know what it is? Well, I'm going to sell you one anyway. You're going to like it.
It's also just interesting because like I feel like a lot of that is, so now it's like an emphasis point of like how far do we push that?
Yeah.
Right? Because like memes, I mean, how oversaturated did we get with fucking memes 6 months ago?
No, completely.
I mean, we saw like, I mean, it was community coins that evolved into celebrity coins that evolved into politician coins, and then every other chain said, "Hold on, hold my beer." Like Solana, you did your thing now, but also like
us too.
Give AVAX, like get over to this red Dorito vibes.
Yep.
Sui, like don't you love blue as well?
But it's like
you know what I mean?
it's like we say, the existence of Vegas doesn't necessarily mean that my 401k is
100%.
worthless, right? But it's all in proper representation. So like memes have a place, they should exist, but like you should also understand what it is that you're not building an investment strategy with 38 memes. You're gambling, and that's fine. Gambling is fun, but like
it's just, where do the resources go? That's my ultimate question, because like, and who should be facilitating those resources?
Yeah.
Right? Like Solana had its run because it was a downtrodden community and they said, like, fuck it, we ball. Like, that was their vibe, right? And so, you know, it made sense the casino lived there.
it's on marketing and messaging. Memes are the best marketers.
It was perfect product market fit. Like Easy's Bodega was like the guy, you know, all the all the homies. I love those people, right? They leaned into it heavily and they found their niche and it exploded. And then everyone else late to the game said, "Oh, well, like we'll do that, but also like,
is there room on the coattail?"
Yeah, what if we just dumped like $50 million into it? You know what I mean? That was that was the strategy, and that's why I'm like, bro, like, do you look at this as a percentage gain? It's like 99% of the shit is going to go to zero. You just soaked X amount of $1 million into it. You didn't have the culture to do that. No. Like, and you're just trying to fit the narrative of the flavor of the month. It's like, dude, like, yeah, I get it. Like, you want to bring people, you want to bring transactions. You look at the ROI of that, but just like, it just doesn't seem like it's
and that's why what Marc said about a lot of these people don't have a vision that's ambitious enough or probably clear enough. They're just trying to pivot to what's hot right now, and especially for companies that are well positioned, that have the money and the mind share to do it. Somebody who's like Apollo, and I mean, you guys are kind of in a category of one as far as L2s go, but there are competitors who could really lean into that. I think, you know, Coinbase is probably the closest sort of thing, but very different in terms of like trying to establish their own unique angle on the market. And they have the power to dabble and dip fingers, but you know.
They're doing a great job.
It's interesting. Alex said here, shout out Alex, aren't all those digital native things anyway? And I saw that you commented on that.
Yeah, I think kinda.
But I think it gets really interesting where people are bridging the gaps, like handheld devices.
Yeah.
You know, to play a game, you need to have a device. To tokenize real estate,
but nostalgia sells, and how much do we all miss our Game Boys?
Oh, 100%.
A simpler time.
Also, we didn't get to connect with the Sweet team yet. That's one of my missions for like the conference is, hey, if you're out there, we got to get Alex.
Yeah, Sweet Play, get at me.
0x play.
Yeah.
Well, because tiny rant. In the world of like, give the people what they want. Try building a product that the market wants. I love tech content. I watch it all the time. I watch every.
I was on Alex's YouTube to try and upload a show, and I was like, dude, this guy's watching like Samsung phone reviews. I was judging you a little bit.
I watch all of them. I want to know who is building the best phone. I want to know what all the flagships are doing. I want to know what the new industry standards for, you know, what chip is being used more often. I want to know what the basic spec sheet is that everyone's on. I watch every single video that Marquez Brownlee posts, and I have ever since he got started. He was one of my first subscriptions on YouTube many years ago, like more than 10 years ago. And no one in crypto is doing that, despite the fact that we have a phone. And Marquez talked about the phone, and he gave it the best review that you could possibly give something, which is that this phone is not a total piece of shit. I don't really care about it that much, but like, it's kind of neat. There's like a cool little gimmick here. Like that's something, and it's not ass. And I was like, that is the best way that you could have had the biggest tech YouTuber on the planet talk about. I can't even say YouTuber, the biggest tech personality on the planet talk about. Yeah. And I just think there is such a missed opportunity to talk to people about the handhelds. And you know how hard it is? You know how hard I've been trying to get a Solana, like a PSG1 or a 0x?
Who are you talking to?
Jay, he runs Solana Play.
Okay. What does he say? He's just like ghosting you?
Crickets. Damn. Jay. Damn. But like, all I want is to get my hands on the thing, and I'll, maybe I'll give it back, but I just want to use it. And like, is it any good? And it's really hard. I'm gonna see Sam and Dub after this, and Dub has a Sui Play console right now that he got. He's very deep into the previous Shrapnel. He's a big Web3 game. He's deep in the trenches there. So like, I get it, but I don't know. I just think that would be so cool. There's such a missed opportunity to do like tech reviews and like tech updates and like talk about it objectively. Like, not this thing is amazing because it's Web3, but like, no, this battery life kind of sucks. Like, let's work on battery improvements or whatever, Yeah.
Meet people where you stand.
That's what I want to do. I think
that would be so
cool.
cool.
There's nobody creating content like that. I don't know. I would watch it.
Yeah, I know you would.
I'd watch the shit out of it, dude.
I will absolutely.
But like, I mean, it comes back. There's so much to do here, and you just gotta put yourself in the right in a room. That's what you're starting the conversation through. Like, oh, like what are you looking forward to? It's just like get in the room with a bunch of people and just start like talking to strangers. Like that's what it's my favorite thing to do here. It's because like I understand that like they made the fucking effort to be here. That's all I needed for proof of why you're in this space. Like you made the effort, you traveled, you got here. Let's make sure to get like your understanding of why you're here and how we can help each other. So it's an exciting week, man.
I think some of our friends in the community who traveled here, and I can remember thinking this too when I met people around, the people who go to crypto conferences, whether you work in the industry or not, you're at the epicenter. You are the most dedicated person. You've made the pilgrimage to where the action is. And so even if you feel like, oh, I don't really belong here, I'm just learning, I'm just an investor, I'm just somebody who's curious, like, no, you belong. This is the movement. And these are the relationships, the interactions that help us make it real, that bring it from online to IRL. So tell me, what are you hosting Polygon, and how can people participate and support if they're here, or if they're not here and want to catch up?
Yeah, for sure. So we had an event yesterday, Multi-Chain Day. It was collectively with Stellar and Stacks and a bunch of group teams that are just building in, Parachain, Wormhole. There were so many good teams out there, right? And they're building in a multi-chain way. So that's like our theme of the week is like, how do we ensure that people understand that we're not just talking about Agglayer, we're living it? Right, so like bring everyone together, right? Like aggregate your stuff, interoperate with the Agglayer, and have the benefits of cross-chain messaging and volume and all that means for your ecosystem and how you can grow with that, right? So that was our first day. Today, obviously, we have Marc speaking, and then we have a redacted event tonight. I can't talk about.
Oh, damn!
Yeah, so that's it. There's things that are happening and yada yada. So we'll hang out later tonight. But
is it what I think it is?
It is something that is happening that is exciting.
Nice.
Is it too late to get in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
now's the time to
favorite
watch.
genre. I will just say my favorite genre of movies is samurai movies. Because it's always it's a uniquely shot type of movie. It accomplishes a unique goal,
dude.
And it has a niche, and it has a cult following that loves it. And so samurai movies to me are like a very interesting exposure point for how people can get integrated into things.
One of my favorite trilogies is the Samurai trilogy with it follows the life of Musashi Miyamoto, and dude, those movies are they're incredible.
You're just capsulated by
I've been watching them since I was a little kid. My dad got me into that. Was his bachelor party was just like pounding sake and watching the Samurai trilogy. And then it was one of the first trilogies that he showed me. So I had an interesting childhood upbringing with I was listening to my first album, which I got in kindergarten, was Power Slave by Iron Maiden.
There we go.
And it was both my parents, shout out, are music theory PhDs, so had all that kind of stuff. But those samurai movies I vividly remember, especially the third one is like this dance off that culminates in this final fight. But the entire movie is just like this one guy who is Musashi's opponent. And I love that this was your segue because goddamn. I never get to talk about this shit.
You're welcome. Yeah,
the
he's
whole-
literally vibrating.
The whole thing was just like, all right, we're gonna meet at sundown at this place, and we're gonna have this final duel. And then they would get there, and there would just be the opponent would show up, and there'd be a note from Musashi that was just like, never mind, 10 years from now we will meet at this place. And he did that to this guy and this is all true. This is he was a real person who has very documented history, and then finally get to the very end, and of course the fight is over like that because the other guy has been pent up rage, and it was all about Zen. And then Zen.
It's waiting.
Zen won. Oh my god,
And
I fucking love samurai
It's a
movies,
nice theme that I would say is like
we got to have samurai movie night at some point.
I'm telling you, like, but the theme holds true. We're quietly waiting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
oh fuck, I did that on accident. That is a great analogy.
Very
I was
clean.
wondering
Oh,
if you
snap.
Very
recognized it.
clean transition from my transition.
Sorry,
That was already clean.
I did that intentionally. I am a professional.
Yeah. But we are quietly waiting. We are sitting underneath our blossom tree, and we are legs crossed, and we are prepared for the next move. So
Zen as shit.
that's tonight. We'll get some sneak peeks out and some cool things going on that side. And then tomorrow I'll be speaking on a panel with IoTex at a Deep In Forward. It's Deep In the morning. A lot of awesome teams will be out there, either with a Deep In and RWA focus. So I'll be kind of talking about our strategy around Deep In. So it'll be early in the day as well. And then we wrap up the week with the Resonance Party. So kind of like the consensus wrap up. So 4 strong events for us. A lot of exposure, just a lot of networking. Again, we came into this event just really making sure that we got into the conversations. With people.
It's the boots on the ground approach versus the big ass booth approach,
right?
Which are
is,
two fine approaches, but pick your
for
battles.
ECC, it's going to be blow it up and do cool stuff. We have an entire building, three stories rented out.
When is ECC?
It's in cons. It's the transition between June and July, so it's like June 30th and July 3rd, I believe it is. So, and it's obviously in a beautiful location, and we have like a 3-story building rented out that we'll be doing like full podcasting and panels with, along with like workshops and creators and championing some of the projects that we're like connected with. So we're leading into like some massive things on that side, but mostly this week it's just like get with the people, you know what I mean, and connect with them in unique ways. And it's already like it's already showing that we're in the right place, right? We're in the right discussions, and I don't know, it's feeling very good. I like our momentum currently.
Yeah,
like how
no,
things are set
100%.
up. So
Okay.
good week, yeah.
Well, brother, thank you for making time after the interview to do a little pillow talk. Yeah. Do you guys have a final thought, a good joke, a word of wisdom as we've ridden cats and cows, so now we'll ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset?
Yeah. No, dude, I'm well met. I'm gonna go speak my love language, which is talking to people on a big ass conference floor about everything. I'm gonna be there for the next 14 hours.
Dude, we joked about last night. I don't know if I said this on the air, but I said, Alex, if you ever need a resume for like a future job, you should just take a snapshot of your Telegram inbox at 9 a.m. day, not even day one of the conference, and then 3 p.m. and then 6 p.m. I was on Alex's computer uploading some stuff, and I needed something from Telegram, and I had seen the same message in a group chat. I was like, oh, it's got to be near the top. And I was like swiping, and I see, everybody in our whole industry is in this man's inbox. I was like, Jesus, man. Biz dev on crack over
That
here.
is what I am here to do.
He kills it. Nill, do you have a final thought for the audience?
Yeah, man. Final thought is just like know your role and play it well, right? Like I think that's kind of what we're realizing is the best way to operate in this space is just like if you know that you're a connector and you're a marketer, you're a facilitator, great, lean into that.
You literally just show up and do it.
Literally just show up and do it, and everyone doesn't know that's a job. I didn't know that my role was a job.
No, like you're invited, you have permission to do it, just show up and do it.
Yeah, you don't need to be either of those things. Like,
You think I applied for this job? I just showed up and did it, and now here I am.
I just kept showing up places.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I grew in the Polygon ecosystem, kept showing up on spaces, kept showing up in the conversations in Discord, and then showed up IRL. And I was like, well, like legit, like it makes sense. So just know your role, play it well, lean in, and then just keep exploring, right? I say this to everybody. Everyone's going to call you obsessed until you figure it out, right? And then you're going to become a genius. Really quickly overnight. He's like, oh, you figured out that crypto thing, didn't you? You're working in the space full time. You're connected with cool people. It's like, yeah, but like 5 years of that. And then figuring it out and leaning in heavily because I knew what my purpose was. It's to be the facilitator for what Polygon does. And now I get to do it every day.
Yep.
So,
eat your glass. It'll turn into frosted flakes eventually.
yeah, exemplified and be a good steward. I love that comment earlier you were saying of like being a good citizen of the blockchain. Yeah. It's something that needs to be reflected on a lot more to make sure that we're holding up our end of the bargain here. So.
Yep.
Yeah. I used to have a mentor who always said, if you are like diligent at your craft, but you prioritize being a good person, giving back to people, give back to yourself, then everything will take care of itself. Johnny, J Heat says, We love you, Nill, and I gotta echo it, man. Thank you so much for making time to
you,
hang with us, and thank all of you for being the best part of what we do. You hear me say it every time, so I'm just gonna get the hell out of here this time. Everybody, rise up. We'll catch you soon.